Good evening, and thank you for inviting us this evening, Chris. It's great to be able to share what we're doing in Sheffield, and it's great to see what other organisations are also doing in Sheffield. So, just to introduce myself very briefly, Darren Butt, I'm the account director on the Streets Ahead project for Amey on Sheffield. So we're responsible for all the highways across the city for the City Council under a PFI contract for the next 17 years. So we've already had a CapEx programme, and now we're into the maintenance. And just to give you a quick overview, critically what we're looking at is assets that we're responsible for, how we make them more efficient, but also how we save money in terms of delivery of maintenance. And at this point, I'll introduce Rob, who's our strategic partner, delivering a LoRaWAN network across the entire city, for which we've got a number of sensors, which will show you hopefully live, if it works for me, very shortly. Rob.
Yeah, thanks, Darren. I'd echo those comments. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having us. It's nice to be talking to people from Yorkshire for a change, being a Yorkshire lad myself. For those of you that aren't aware, Connexin, we are a smart communities, smart cities IoT operator, companies based in Hull. And my job really is to talk to like-minded companies, like-minded organisations, both public and private sector, and work out how we can make places healthier, more productive, more efficient, and basically deliver a better service. And I've had the pleasure of working with a number of councils in the city region, and working with Amey for probably the last 18 months, I think, Darren.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, I think, so from our perspective, it's great to see the work that Steve and the team have been doing at the Urban Observatory and continue to do. It really drives that ecosystem and takes away some of those barriers to entry. As Darren said, we do provide LoRaWAN networks. I think, again, building on what Steve said about the coverage in Sheffield, it's fantastic to see. Sheffield, from our understanding, with the network that we've put in place with Amey, is probably the most densified LoRaWAN network in the UK, certainly carrier grade. And we provide the end-to-end service, so everything from the networks through to the sensor layer, and then the visualization and the platform instance as well. So I'm really interested to hopefully meet some of you afterwards and talk a little bit about some of the stuff we've been doing in a bit more detail.
So I hope that I can share my screen with you, and I hope this works. I've lost the pictures of you all, so I can't see anyone nodding.
Yep, you're on, Darren.
Very good. So there you can see what we employ on in Sheffield is 465 people. 100 of those roughly are involved in our street cleaning and trying to maintain Sheffield as one of the cleanest cities in the country. A couple of years ago, we had to look for some savings and efficiencies with the authority as they looked at their budget deficit at the time. And working with Rob, we looked at installing a LoRaWAN network and sensors in all our street litter bins. So this is a basic litter bin with a sensor that monitors fill levels. Contractually, we have to ensure those bins are available to the public to use, and what we don't want is litter on the floor. So ultimately, what we want to do is drive some efficiencies in our street cleansing team so that the guys were directed to empty a bin rather than turning up at a bin and finding it was only 10% for, 20% for, and emptying it anyway. And what we've been able to do is really drive some real efficiencies in the way now we're delivering this program over the last 6 months. And we've also got data now on the productivity of the teams, and we're starting to learn about the asset behaviours as well. So, you know, as we approach the winter, we're seeing less usage of bins in parks and around encompassing parks. And we're also, for the health and safety of our teams, where we've got bins just outside parks, we're identifying the sort of waste that's in there, and I'm not going to talk too much about the waste, but some waste is heavier than others. And what we're looking to do now is adapt the level of fill that's acceptable to ensure the guys can safely lift that bin, empty it, and service it correctly without putting themselves at risk, as we always aim for zero harm to our staff. So currently, the initial user case was on 2,000 litter bins. That's everything outside the inner relief road of the city. We've currently got 1,850 actually installed, and the balance, the 150, is currently being installed at the moment. So we're operating this now on a day-to-day basis. We have a management information system called Confirm by Priestley, which stores all the information. And basically from the OS City platform, it raises a job ticket to go into the into Confirm, and that goes out to our guys on a digital platform, They go and empty it, and then evidence that the fact they've emptied the bin. Now, the beauty of the LoRaWAN network that Rob's installed and the teams at Connexin is we're looking at other user cases. So currently we have one moisture sensor for young trees out in the city. There's just so we can try and deliver water to that tree as and when it's needed, not assume because it's sunny the tree needs water. So again, it's about delivering efficiencies to the guys, making sure we're delivering service at the point of need. And we also have grit bin sensors on the network as well. That's in the LoRaWAN network, so we can identify when they're empty and ensure at the point of need that we're going out and filling these grit bins as required. So at the moment we've had some winter weather over the last week or so, and we're gritting tonight. You can see there is no empty grit bins on this LoRaWAN network that we've identified. They're all full and therefore available for the public use. And that's critically what we're aiming to do. And this again will minimise contact from the public coming into our call centre and having to deliver a reactive service. So we're planning, we're efficient in the way we deliver, and we're saving money as well, but also understanding the assets and how they behave. So one other area we're exploring at the moment with Connexin, and those obviously Steve and Martin, you had it on your dashboard, it was about river levels. So we're looking to put in some monitoring stations in our culverts to ensure that our drainage system is operating fully and functional at all times. Because at the moment when we receive a yellow warning for weather, we actually have to send guys out physically, look at culverts, ensure they're flowing, there's no debris in those locations. By capturing all this electronically and digitally, we can minimise the wasted time of sending guys out there with confidence that the system's functioning correctly. But it's building on a network based on user cases that commercially stack up, which is critical, as all of the local authorities are now struggling with budget deficits, particularly in this current climate and crisis that we're in. And it's building that platform now for everyone else in the city to take advantage of. And obviously, if we can get air quality in there, perhaps we could deploy the guys at the right time and on the right route to ensure that they're not adding to hotspots across the city. And that's really where we want this platform to build to in the coming years. So I'll stop sharing and I'll hand back to Rob, who can talk a little bit more about the rest of the network.
We're clearly talking to a really educated community, Darren, so I'm not going to try and teach people to suck eggs. I think for me, there's a couple of things that are just worth calling out. I think the reason why the Amey project was so exciting was not really about the technology. It's not about the LoRaWAN gateways. It's not even about the platform. It's actually about the service improvements and the quality of service to the people of Sheffield. Only a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to Mark Jones, and he was commenting at first-hand experience about how he'd seen the bins, the difference in experience when he goes to drop his kids at school. And sometimes, Darren, only sometimes you might see a bin that's full. And whereas that might have taken a couple of days previously, he's saying it's normally the same day, if not the next day, that bin's empty. So he's noticed a service improvement. And, that's the kind of thing that we really want to hear. I think as well, when we talk about some of the efficiencies and the behaviour changes some of these things can drive, in terms of output per person, in terms of the quality of service. I think also we've also heard comments around employee engagement, because actually they've got a clearer set of instructions in terms of how to execute the job. And having been out firsthand with the guys and seeing them lifting some of those bins, some of them are a lot heavier than others. So being able to use that insight then, so it can actually drive a different way of doing things has been really powerful to see. I think I'll just finish from my side, Darren, really around the platform itself. So we use our own platform, CityOS, which is it's an open data platform. One of the unique things around it is that we use it in different sectors. So we're using it with other councils. So Hull's a great example of a council that's taken an approach to deploy platform to bring all their different data sets together. At the moment, it's not really an IoT project, whereas Darren's is very much asset management through the power of IoT. Hull's has been really around bringing together existing council data sets. Yet to meet a council that doesn't have lots of data, just not always lots of information. Hull recognised that and wanted to change that. But we're also using it in other sectors. So we've got a big project with a couple of utilities, one in Ireland and one very close to home in Yorkshire. So we're going through the concepts around smart water networks and how do you deliver a different approach to identifying leakage and consumption and human behaviour and all those other good things. And I think that that's really the message I wanted to leave with, was it's not about the technology or the platform per se. It's about the actionable insight. And it's about driving those communities and that community approach to solving some of these problems. One of the things that we really are a big believer in is training people how to use our platform. So we're really key that when we do deployments, we'll impart skills and knowledge, do that knowledge transfer, so that local people on a local level can try and fix local problems. Darren, I think that's it from me.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rob. Unfortunately, I won't be joining you in the lounge after 7, but please feel free to get in touch with me. I'm more than happy to give a much more in-depth demonstration if anyone is interested, and I hope that we can all collectively look at these platforms and see what other efficiencies we can gain going forward. It's great to be involved this evening. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks both of you.